Hello YouTubies, this is King Clara, and just let me slurp this white wine. Right, in the forest of the night. An intriguing episode, I have to say, very unique in style. It's pretty much like the the fairy tale type of episodes which are rare in Doctor Who. They do pop up, and they have seemed to pop up a little bit more in Series 8 than other series. But anyway, let me just say something a little bit negative about this episode and Series 8 too. My main problem with this series so far and the Doctor is that he seems to be the little bitch of Clara Oswald for the whole of Series 8. A little bitch. She seems to be pushing him around like a little dog. She seems to have a leash around his fucking neck. When is that Doctor going to take that leash off his neck and show some fucking big balls? Because at the moment I don't see it, and this is a very negative part of what Peter Capaldi's Doctor is about at the moment. Because at the moment she's telling him to do everything she wants to. In fact, she's treating him as a doormat, from what I can see. She just walks in with a bunch of kids. The kids are taking selfies outside his TARDIS, and then she tells the Doctor to go away. Don't forget that the Doctor saved planet Earth. How many fucking times? How many times has the Doctor actually saved planet Earth? Millions of times, probably. And this little witch is telling him to go away. Don't bother saving planet Earth. I mean, does this make any sense anyway? When is he going to take the lead in these episodes? Where was that Doctor that we saw with the robot in the first series? In the last 5 minutes, when you saw this very strong Doctor who didn't take any fucking shit off anyone. Where is that Doctor that we saw in the first few minutes of the Dalek episode? when he told that woman who just lost her brother to say, please, otherwise he's not going to do what she says. And she had him at gunpoint. Let's not forget that. Where's this Doctor? Well, at the moment he's being walked around by Clara like a little dog. That's exactly what's happening. And this is bad for Doctor Who at the moment. It really is. It's just not working out. The episodes are good. Peter Capaldi is doing a good job from the scripts he has, but that's kind of negative. And I do not see a strong Doctor. I really don't. And people might say, well, maybe this is building to something. I'll get lost. It's not building to anything. I mean, the only interesting thing I find about this is that Clara Oswald, at least the image of her, is going to be one of the bad guys in the finale of this year. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that is Clara Oswald, alright? It could be somebody else. And we also saw in the trailer Missy as well. So I have a feeling that Missy, some people might say it might be Clara. It could be the Rani, it could be anybody. It could be the woman who died in the Cybermen episode, the King of the Cybermen or whatever. It could be any of this. It is looking a bit more boring now that we saw the trailer. I'm actually less excited about the series finale. Could have kept it going a bit longer, the mystery, but now it's obvious that she's plugged into something and whatever, but that's a different episode. But yeah, Peter Capaldi's Doctor, it doesn't seem to be taking any sort of lead. Alright, that's the problem. None of the other Doctors would have done that. When she told them to bug off, none of the other Doctors would have just said, oh yeah, alright, the planet's going to burn, it's going to be destroyed. Yeah, alright, I'll go away right now. I've seen the other Doctors tell Clara, well, I've seen one of the Doctors tell Clara to do as she's fucking told. In one of his finale episodes, it was actually the Christmas episode last year, where Matt Smith said, just do as you're told and get back in the TARDIS. And then the TARDIS leaves her back in the place where she lives, and Clara didn't want any of that. Clara's tries to tell him off, but he just pushes her back immediately. Peter Capaldi is a bit different. The only time I've seen him take the stand was when he told her to get into the TARDIS, otherwise she won't travel with him again. But after that, nothing. It's all been downhill for Peter Capaldi's Doctor. It's a shame really, because he's not really taking any lead in the Doctor Who episodes. So that is a negative. And people might disagree with me. I mean, I still enjoy the episodes, but he's a different Doctor than what I would have wanted him to be. Alright? He's just turning out to be a lost puppy, that's all. The episode itself, though, it was unique. Alright, so it's very difficult to rate these kind of episodes because uniqueness is always good. Alright? It's always good. You want to see uniqueness in Doctor Who, because if you don't, then the episodes all turn out to be the same, don't they? But yeah, we've had similar episodes like this, haven't we? We've had Robin Hood, we've had the Narnia episode. Was that back in 2010, 2011 maybe? But yeah, we've had these episodes before, but not often, not often. And I do like the idea that the kids did go into the TARDIS. I thought that was interesting because it is good that the writer of this particular episode realised that kids have more imagination, so they're more likely to accept a TARDIS being bigger on the inside and be less surprised by it. It's adults who tend to lack imagination rather than children. Children have a fantastic imagination, so when they see a TARDIS bigger on the other inside, you just think, oh well, that's interesting, but they're not going to make a big deal of it. Because the world to them, they're still exploring it, right? So they might be surprised by things, but they're not suddenly overly surprised like adults would be. Although a TARDIS bigger on the inside might actually surprise some of them, but it seems to be it didn't. They were just saying, yeah, whatever. It's like the Rory character, by the way. You just went, yeah, it's bigger on the inside because of dimensions, and that really annoyed Matt Smith's Doctor. But anyway, that's a different episode. So I do like some of the things. I mean, this episode is not scientifically accurate. Before the science mongrels out there on YouTube start criticising it, saying, how does this make any sense? It's science fantasy, get over it, alright? It's never going to make sense scientifically. And I think some people who have been criticising episodes like that over and over, until somebody big on YouTube actually mentioned that it's science fantasy, I think they would have actually criticised it until he actually said it. So yeah, I mean, it is science fantasy, so we can be happy enough with anything that happens in Doctor Who. Right? The interesting thing is the little fireflies, blocking out the sun's solar flares with the oxygen. That fucking wouldn't work, would it? There's no way on this fucking planet that a bit of oxygen would stop solar flares. What tends to stop these sort of things is the magnetic shielding around the planet. That's something to do with our core. It's got nothing to do with the oxygen in our air. Although it does help a little bit, but it's certainly not going to stop a solar flare. I'm sorry, it's not going to work. So whoever actually thought that one up is going to be on the end of some stick there. But it doesn't really matter anyway. We'll just say it's science fantasy, whatever. I like the fact that we had the Hansel and Gretel theme in this episode too. Oh my, getting the dread, this the old woman who tends to be a cannibal is going to turn up. I kind of like that idea, and I also like the thing where there's a wolf that turns up. The wolves turn up because they escape from the zoo, sort of. So this sort of thing sort of works for this episode, but on the whole, I would say it's okay. I enjoyed watching it the first time, which is more important than anything. There are people who are going to be comparing this to, did I enjoy it watching it the 20th time? Does it really matter? It's if you enjoyed watching it on the night that matters. Your first viewing is the most important. Stop being one of these people who tend to go, oh my god, I stopped enjoying it after 5 times watching it, so I got bored of it. Yeah, most people, when they see a movie, they only see it once for many years, and then they might see it 6 months later. Say, I don't know, but they don't tend to watch it over and over again. throughout the weeks. They tend to watch it once because they can only afford that. So the first viewing is the most important, and the first viewing is basically what most people will be seeing. Alright, it's not a case of, you know, we're going to be watching. Why the fuck am I even going to be talking about this? Fuck that. I'm not bothering with it. Okay, fuck it. If people want to watch it 50 times and then say after the 59th episode, after the 59th viewing, I hated it, so be it. Waste your life doing that. So yeah, it was okay. The episode was okay. It wasn't brilliant, but it was okay. And I'm a little bit pissed now because I've been drinking white wine and I've got I've got a sore throat. Alright, I'll see you guys next week. See you later. Goodbye.